Parvez and my co-host Maria Khan from Newzone. Today we are having a debate between the class 8 graders on the general idea of health and hygiene. So I am going to throw my first question. Health and hygiene is the uprising issue of the Pakistan. Do you think it is the government's fault or the people?
I think it's the government's fault because the government is responsible for the upbringing of the country. If the government imposes rules on the people will follow the rules and they won't pollute the environment.
But how can you take the guarantee that people are going to do
well,
what
if
the
you
government is saying? Because there are most of the laws which the people don't obey.
Well, if you impose strict laws and give punishment if the people don't follow them, then they will certainly follow it because no one wants to
But in history it's not never happened, so how can you guarantee?
You can always change something it wasn't there.
What?
You can always change something.
Every time the change
Something is better than nothing.
So what you mean is to be harsh on the people and make them follow?
Exactly.
Not actually harsh, but to force them to what they're supposed to do.
There are many
not
things
really
not being
being harsh.
followed in Pakistan. People usually don't obey the rules which are necessary. Then how will they give importance to health and
They
hygiene?
don't obey the rules because the government is making them leisure. They don't do anything. The government doesn't say anything. They take money and they leave them. This is wrong.
Well, the next question will be thrown by Maria Khan.
Do you think that you alone can make a difference, or that you need or a whole group of people will make a difference for hygiene? Do you think one individual alone can make a difference, a visible difference?
No, I think that a lot of people would make a difference because the people follow each other. So they like
You
if
said
one
that the people follow each other. So if one of the persons follow this, then the others are going to continue.
yes,
following.
but if one doesn't,
But the group has
Please keep the
unity.
silence.
But the group has unity.
and if one doesn't,
But if one does follow something
One
wrong, then
individual
one
cannot handle millions of people.
yes.
There's only one.
If one does something right, then one follow automatically. Try this, please.
It will have.
It will have unity.
What is the guarantee?
If you have the same thinking, then the group will certainly have unity.
If one person has the thing, then others are going to follow.
But it's not a
Already can solve all the
A
problems.
single person can make a whole lot of group.
Well, I think the theorem is correct. If one person follows, other will follow. So, how can you say that one cannot make a difference?
Because a group has unity and can do a lot of stuff. If one individual is trying for one thing, he cannot do many things at one time.
So to bring unity, you have to get an idea from one person.
Yes.
But if his
So
head
that
is
can
inspired,
make every-
then only others will follow them if his thought is inspired. If he is right, others will also follow.
When
Yes, that's what
Yes.
you're
one
saying.
person takes an action, the others also follow him, don't they? So people certainly follow the right action. I don't think so they will follow him.
Okay. Now, do you think the government should encourage hygiene more, or the public should encourage hygiene more? Do you think it's the government's responsibility to encourage hygiene, or it's the people's responsibility?
Well, Maria, I think that it's the government's fault because they don't even have specific areas for us to dump the waste. Where would we dump the waste?
But I
What
think
do you
it's
think?
both people and government's fault. Because if the government is imposing rules and asking people to do, a government is just a representative. But what are the people who can make a change? So it's both. If both work together, then only they can make a change. Not government individually or people individually.
I agree.
So do you have specific ideas how to encourage these changes?
The government should build some areas for the people to dump more wastage so that
But what if the people don't obey what the government
Well, the
is
government
saying
should
and they don't use the dustbins that are put in
Well, I
every
think
area?
government should bring awareness and show the causes of what they're doing, so the people can
They
realize.
should bring punishments.
Imposing a fine they can have billboards to inspire people. So do you think there should be harsh punishments for the people who don't obey the rules?
Not harsh punishment, but
punishment, no one will obey the
Not harsh but strict rules.
and high taxes so that the people can obey the rules.
No, only higher taxes will only cause discomfort, so it's better that not to cause them real harm.
So don't you think there should be fines and
But if still the people don't follow, then there should be some kind of serious punishment, because it is really necessary that the country should be
We should give them a chance. Well, I think that it's the government's fault because there are no dustbins on roads. You don't see a dustbins on footpaths.
But again, the government is a representative of a country, and people should also follow these rules, so that because the people are also living it, and they are the first class.
Then how do people follow the rules if there aren't any rules? But the people are
But if people are burning the trash, the government can stop them at least. They can do that.
encourage the people.
Yeah. If there are dustbins on
To
the
overall keep the country clean and green, the government and people both need to cooperate. Because the people and government, I think both are the representatives of the country.
So you all must have heard about polio, which is starting again in Pakistan. Or whose fault is that? Is it the government's or is it the people's? Are the people not giving?
I again think that people's fault is also because
It's the people's fault because they won't get the children vaccinated.
No, but in rural areas there are no
It's not really the people's fault.
They would provide, the government should provide more like that's the way it is.
That's what we are saying, that government should provide them with vaccines in the rural areas so that parents could vaccinate their
We all know Pakistan is in large poverty, and I guess the government really should take some action because people are very poor to get their children vaccinated.
Well, in my point of view, that we are getting vaccination from the out of countries, but these vaccinations are diluted. They don't affect anyone.
That's because of corruption.
Yeah.
That's again the government's fault.
So how do you think we can raise this issue?
That should be done by government only.
By involving
Because
No, but
they are
people also have a big hand in this because they do not only prevent.
If government will encourage it, then only people will do
And if
it.
they show the
If
causes of
they're not encouraged by the government.
actions against the government, then only the government.
But the thing is that.
So what do you think?
The government should take care of their society and bring more vaccination so that the people can be less
bring the
affected
right
of
vaccinations. And
But the thing is that these things are diluted because there is corruption in the government. So I think people should raise their voices.
People should be
They should.
aware if
Yes.
they are
They should.
aware how
The drugs are diluted because of the government corruption. Not a people.
And firstly, the vaccines should be proven by the scientists, and then it should be used by the.
But most of our scientists are not that qualified.
not well educated.
Again that.
But they went
But
out
again,
of
that-
country to earn more
again-
money. They don't
again-
stay over here.
That is the fault of the government.
don't pay the
Yes.
them, na?
They pay less money. That's what it is.
they won't
No.
promote that.
The occupations are in wrong post. People do not have the required education. They need to like stand on that post. So that's why I think that is also the fault of the government because of corruption.
And I think the government doesn't promote them.
So we've come to the conclusion that half the people's fault and somewhat the government's fault. So what do you think? Do you think who is faster to change? Do you think the government should change?
Government.
I think
Government and the people both.
I think the people, because they are in a large majority, and if they raise their voices, the government will surely take action.
No, I think
Yes,
it's the
they have
government
Because the
because
government
they are
agrees
being-
with the population of
So they are being represented by the people. They are being elected by the people. So if they will take a step, then people will certainly follow them because the government is the leader. But in
Okay,
every
so-
case,
But
the
it's-
people
But
are
if
not-
people obey, then only the country will bring the change.
yes, they should obey the government.
stand with their rights and take it. We select our representatives. So we should take the right decision. We should look at first and then make our decision.
And whatever that government, that leader selects, then we should definitely obey.
We can change the government, but we can't change the public. As the thing we can change is the public's thoughts, their ideas, and their thinking.
The
Because
thing is that
there's
they
one
are not
leader, not
cooperating
billions.
with the government.
But what's the
But the
guarantee
people-
that people will obey the government?
Because they are the ones who are electing the government, so they must. If they are not, then they are fools who are voting.
Yes.
So now we have reached a conclusion. It is not only the government, it is the people and the government. So if we maintain hands and put a join our hands together, we can reach to a good and a successful country. Well, thank you for your